July 14, 2019. A long and dusty evening in Wimbledon, London, England. After 4 hours and 57 minutes, Novak Djokovic finally succeeded in lifting the Wimbledon trophy, beating Roger Federer of all people. Roger Federer, the greatest player of all time. And yet in his defeat, there are lessons for all of us. First of all, life doesn't reward credentials. Life rewards what you did that day. Secondly, Roger is the greatest player of all time, but even he was not brilliant enough to cover the 5-year age difference between himself and his rival. Third, when you let go of chances like Roger did, letting go of 2 match points, life doesn't forgive you. Then it catches you by the throat. And lastly, no matter how good you are, you always need a coach. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmasters is all about mentoring and collaboration. We are all assigned mentors when we start our journey. But little do we know that as our journey progresses, there is more and more of a need for mentor or mentors. Why? The expectations rise. When you are at DTM and you do well in a speech or a speech contest, people say, yeah, of course, you've done 60 speeches, what's the big deal? And heaven forbid if you don't do well in a speech. Who made you a DTM? You don't speak like a DTM. Because the reality is, you are only as good as your last speech. I've been lucky enough to have been mentored by several mentors throughout my life, and today I'm privileged and honored enough to be able to speak of my most recent mentor. It was a warm, balmy day in June, punctuated by heavenly gusts of slightly cooler air. The impossibly blue sky was decorated with snow-white clouds flitting here and there. I was slightly lightheaded because I was fasting. And that feeling was exacerbated by the smells of diesel, chemicals, dyes, and age-old bird poop that lined the corridors of my office. I had been summoned to the office of head of HR, who gleefully told me, "Congratulations, Talha, you have a new boss. Meet Sam." And I followed her gaze and my eyes landed upon Sam. A man in his late 50s, a very senior cost and management accountant, gleaming eyes, luminous teeth, short and stocky build, dark black hair, which he claimed never to have dyed. Not knowing any better, I shook hands with him. Having not been assigned a room yet, he was stationed right in my room for 2 months, and there began an unforgettable journey of endless learning and mentorship. He taught me a lot. He started with his exploits as a cost cutter, as a bloodhound of turnarounds in every textile mill under the sun, at least within 2.5 kilometers of Daud Chaurangi in Landi. And then he started to make me see the error of my ways. How wrong I was to have chosen chartered accountancy, because it burdened me with an artificial layer of civility. How wrong I was to send emails. Nobody had time to read emails. How wrong I was to investigate my audit findings, because that only allowed people to search for scapegoats and alibis. Further, he had life-changing advice on the topic of turnarounds and profitability. According to him, the only way to turn a profit is to compromise on the specs of your product and cheat your buyer and then bribe the lab to pass the samples. And further, he took me along when he met with the heads of department and charges of production, and he insisted to them that unless you follow my cost-cutting plan, your salaries will be cut, or your designations will be reduced, or worse. He had an opinion about everything. He had an opinion about the life, love, and the universe. The answer is not. The answer lies with Sam. how wrong I was, how unlucky I was to have been born to a father who did his PhD in organic chemistry from Birmingham, UK, and then chose to teach? My God, if he hadn't done so, we would have had several houses by now. And then he had this endearing habit of keeping himself clean when he was sweating. I haven't seen anything like it. And soon you will wish that you had it as well. He took the handkerchief, slid it all the way inside his nether regions, and then slid it out and waved it in the air. It was very difficult to be near him after that, and next to impossible to shake his hands. But you know what? A mentor sets a benchmark for a protege. He or she is supposed to be a moral guide to his or her protege. They are supposed to take their proteges into new worlds of discovery, and Sam did none of those things. But nevertheless, he taught me the most valuable lesson that I've ever learned, a lesson that neither my parents nor my teachers could ever teach me. And that lesson was, I didn't know what I needed to do, but I sure did know what I did not need to do. I sure knew who I was not supposed to be. And trust me, that lesson is as valuable as any other lesson. Because sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel is an illusion. Some people are that light at the end of the tunnel. They are your guiding light. And some people are the tunnel. Over to you, Toastmaster.